Hello everyone, I'm Kaitlin.
And I am Jillian.
And we are the hosts of the OK Drama podcast.
We're two friends recap and break down K-dramas one episode at a time.
Yay! I was like, not anxious, but the suspense of your and was like...
It was very like a wrestling show. Or like in soccer when they're like, goal.
Yes, exactly.
And it never fucking ends.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, we are done with Coffee Prince officially.
Oh my god.
We're going to go over 3 episodes today. And yeah. I am so excited. So it should be a good one, I think.
Yes, we have a lot to talk about. We have a backlog of OK Mamas. But before we get into that, we'll just do some quick housekeeping. So we have our Patreon. It is alive and well, people.
Yes.
I think by this time, we will have already done our first virtual hangout. The patches and stickers will be shipped out to our lovely patrons. So if you are interested in just getting bonus content, Jill and Andrew's Strangers from Hell episodes, that's only $3 a month, and then it gets a little bit more expensive as you move up, but you get the fun stickers and patches.
And hangs.
Very excited for our Hotel de Luna patches.
Yes. One of them shipped. It was either the pin or the patch.
I'm excited for both. I cannot wait to just wear a little cardigan and have my, like,
your little manual
pin. Because it's almost like I'm an employee or something.
Yes.
Like, you know how a president wears, like, an American flag?
Yes.
Or whatever?
You work at Hotel de Luna. Hopefully not dead, though.
No. So, yeah, very excited for that. And if you want to buy things but don't want to commit to Patreon, we have our Etsy store. So go check that out. What else? Oh, follow us on Twitter, OK Drama Pod, Instagram, OK Drama Podcast, and tell us what you're watching. I have the longest list. Probably not the longest, but I have a super long list of dramas that I want to watch. So let us know what you're watching, and maybe I'll start something.
Add it to your list.
Yes. After this, we're starting Goblin. But after that, we're completely wide open. So let us know what you want us to watch, preferably on Netflix. And we'll do a little poll, a polly poll. So
love a poll.
Yes. Exercise your right to vote, people. So
on K-dramas too.
On K-dramas, in your local elections, at work.
In your big election.
In your big elections, I mean. We're not telling you who to vote for, but we're kind of telling you who to not vote for.
Make decisions. Read. Don't follow all the news you see on Facebook. Question everything. Trust no one. Those are the things I stand by.
Okay. Yeah. So, I guess without further ado,
let's do it.
Yay, I'm so excited. Okay. Should I do our backlog of OK Mama first?
Yes. Yeah, go for it.
So we did not have an OK Mama for episodes 13 and 14, so I'm going to do that right now.
Okay, cool.
So my mom starts with, Unse is a total bitch.
She is a butthole, I will agree.
Mingyup is an idiot. So glad when he tried dating others. I was also happy to see the butcher give the mom the cold shoulder. I've just blocked out the mom storyline. I, do not care. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not an exciting story.
I wish we had more coffee princes than mom. Sorry. But that's how I feel. Okay. And my mom says Koreans love to play games. Drinking games, acrostic poem games, like the 5-line sentence game when Hangul and Unchan were trying to figure out who was going to do the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
They're super fun. Yeah, I love watching all of the games people play in, like, variety shows and just, like, the live stories or whatever that the idol groups do.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, we don't play enough games in America.
No.
And I feel like it makes you more, like, quick-witted.
Yeah,
to, like,
definitely.
think on your feet.
Absolutely. And it makes things more fun, too.
It does. And I was thinking, like, I cannot imagine, like, major U.S. celebrities going on a TV show and then having to, like, play games like that. Anyway, it's just fun. Okay. Teeth brushing. Koreans love to brush their teeth. All of my colleagues have a toothbrush, toothpaste, and mug at their desk. They brush their teeth after eating or drinking coffee and tea all day long. If you go to public schools, students have toothbrushes hanging in sanitizing cabinets in the bathroom.
Interesting.
Yeah. They need a clean mouth. I kind of wish more people in the U.S. brushed their teeth, like, at work. We should normalize that.
At first, it was just like, I wish people in the U.S. brush their teeth, period.
Well, that too. But I like that, because I hate, like, tasting food in my mouth. Like,
and then, like, you go to like a public restroom and you brush your teeth and people are like, what's she doing in here? Does she live in this bathroom? Real bitchy.
Uh-huh. Okay. Father's story is heartbreaking but common. In Korea, rarely would anyone marry someone their family doesn't approve of. This is Hangul's dad. Family is very important in this culture. There are many events that a couple would have to attend together. Sad. Okay. I love Unchan's reluctance to take money from Hangul to go to America. She is proud of being the breadwinner for her family. Yes, but I would probably take that money.
Yeah. Same.
Would you? Okay.
Because she's had such a hard life in trying to, like, take care of her family and everything. Like, her jobs suck. Minus, like, the coffee prince job and, like, her taekwondo classes that she seemed to really enjoy. Like, everything else kind of sucks. Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, I liked his compromise of come to New York with me and, like, you can find a job there. Like, if you really want to work and some money back for your family, then do that there with me. Yeah. And I'd be like, sounds
okay.
Good.
Okay. Let's start packing.
Get me some English classes and a plane ticket. Okay. My mom says, I hate the one-way hugs you see so often in K-dramas. Why can't the other person being hugged hug back? True.
I've noticed that too.
My mom says, how dare Yuju go into Hansung's house and fall asleep? It pisses me off that she is so selfish and Hansung is so eager to make her happy.
She's not a favorite of mine.
No. I will stand by that she seems like a good friend, but not a good girlfriend.
Yeah.
But fuck that. It just reminds me, I know Yuju is on a man, but I saw this tweet recently, and it was like, the only thing men have is the audacity. I was like, that's funny. Okay. Oh, tabletop cookers. Everyone has these. People take them camping, to the park, etc. to make ramen or grill food. When they're out with friends and family, people don't spend much time in their homes. They go out often. Korea has lots of parks, and Koreans love being outside. Hilarious when Harim tries to explain sex drive to Unchan. Oh, well, Harim tells Hangul, I'm just trying to make your life easier. Yeah. That was a funny why though scene.
Yes. A funny, uncomfortable why though.
Yes. My mom says, the milk picture and paper chain are super cute and thoughtful, but why didn't she make them at home and bring them over? It's weird that she did the art on his porch.
It's true.
She was, like, thinking about it, too.
Yeah, maybe she really needed to be in the space to know how she wanted it to look. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Finding out what happened... Oh, no. I was trying to figure out why the grandmother encouraged the son and his wife to adopt Hangul. I think it must be because of the guilt she felt for breaking them up in the first place.
Agreed.
True, yeah. Finding out what happened in his early life and also talking with his real father at the airport was a nice layer in helping Hangul grow up. Did you notice that his stepbrother also has the name that starts with Han? Interesting. The episode ended in such a heartwarming manner, asking for open communication. I can honestly say that no one I have ever dated has asked me to tell them everything. I don't think Alex has asked me to tell him everything. I just do.
You just do. Yeah, same.
And he just takes it. But Alex tells me a lot of stuff too, so... like... Honestly, I feel like Alex tells me more stuff than I tell him sometimes.
I can see that.
Okay. Episode 14. Opening scene of the episode. So cute when Harim starts talking about Minyip's new girlfriend in front of Unchan, and Harim picks him up by the waist and carries him outside. I do love it when Minyip does that to Harim. Mm-hmm. It's really funny. Because he's so small.
Yeah.
And, okay. Grandmother talks in a rough manner, but she is really loving towards Hangul, really kind of the father to tell him what to do what he really wants to do. Barbecue at Hansung's. It was nice to see Yuju and Hangul reconcile their feelings towards each other in a friendly way, so things wouldn't be awkward.
I still felt awkward.
I know.
Watching that, I was like, ugh, what's happening?
Again, like, you need to let things breathe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel really jealous if I was Unchan, seeing, like, Hangul and Yuju. But I guess maybe they felt a little jealous seeing Unchan and Hansung together. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. A lot. It's a lot to unpack. My mom says, I was slightly annoyed that Unchan behaved like a child at an adult party. I guess it's true to her character, but I wish she tried a little more to fit in. She's 24. Also, the other three looked at her as if she's only a cute kid. If the writers want us to start seeing her as a woman, this would have been a good place for her to start trying a little harder.
Mm-hmm. There's also multiple moments where they call her a kid.
There's like a really loud thunder. I was like, huh?
Yeah, there's a storm coming. Two. Yeah. There's like 2 hurricanes.
I know. My mom was texting me. She was like, so what's the news about those 2 hurricanes? And I was like, there are hurricanes coming?
Yeah, Adrian told me yesterday. It's like 2 of them going towards like Houston, but we'll get like part of it. But it's like they're both coming and like hitting at the same time, apparently, as of right now.
Fabulous.
She's like, fucked. Yeah, I don't know.
That's exactly what Houston needs right now.
I know. I don't know if it's just, like, the subtitle translation, but there are, like, multiple moments where they call Unchan kid, or, like, this kid, or she's a kid. And it's like, that's weird. Don't call your girlfriend a kid, you 30-year-old man. What?
Yeah, it's too much of an age gap to do that, because, like, Alex and I tease each other because he's 1 year older than me. And I'm like, oh, you're so old. Or he's like, you probably don't remember this, but
oh my god, stupid.
Yeah. But that's not what they were doing.
No.
She was actually acting a little childish. I mean, I don't know. I feel a little half and half about it. I feel like Unchan was just kind of being herself, and I mean, she wasn't, like, talking in a baby voice or anything. She was just, like, being chill. And I think, like, the other people are a little bit, like, not snooty, but, you know, they're not...
Yeah, I feel like the rest of them are very, they're a bit serious.
Yes.
Like, they still joke around and stuff, but I feel like compared to her, like, they're more... they're more serious in their conversations. Like, they talk about art and music.
Yeah.
And work. And Unchan's like, food.
Yeah, because I'm like, I feel like Unchan's behavior is not far off from how, like, you and I would act at a dinner party. I mean, she, like, guzzles down wine, which I just can't do that, because I would pass out, but, I mean, anyway, yeah, I get what my mom is saying, though. Okie doke. Okay, it was nice to find out more about Sunki's past and why he is so quiet. He's really deep. Yuju's pregnancy was unexpected. Curious to see how this will affect her. Will she run away again? Abortion is illegal in South Korea, but her impersonation of Unchan was hilarious. When Unchan tells her mom to take some fruit to the butcher after he's been sick, Western people might not understand how expensive fruit is in Korea. Grapes are like $16 a pack. Apples are in the $14 to $20 range. Watermelon is around $20. Wow. Mandarin oranges are $10 to $15. If you go to a traditional market, you can sometimes find food a little cheaper, but not significantly. Huh. I love fruit. That would be a big bummer.
Yeah. It makes me wonder what, like, the cost of being vegan would be in Korea.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Because I love eating fruit. I don't know how much vegetables are there if they're just as expensive.
I feel like I see a lot of Koreans eat vegetables more.
Okay.
But, like...
I love a good veggie.
Because they treat fruit like dessert, almost. Yeah, I don't know. I was reading, though, that, like, Koreans do love meat, but there's also, like, a decent-sized Buddhist population in Korea, and a lot of Buddhist people are vegetarian or vegan, so.
Cool.
Anyway.
I have a chance they're being able to eat when and if I visit.
Yeah. Exactly. Sending the ultrasound was a cute way to tell Hansung she is pregnant. Yeah. Unchan was a spaz at the grandmother's house, touching everything. Again, I wish her character was showing signs of maturing. Hangil should have known better and prepared his family for his relationship with Unchan. Grandmother's response was expected. There are still 3 more episodes. It was still hard to watch her be so mean, calling Unchan it and this thing. Yeah, that was rough. Mother's response was also expected, not happy but not mean. Father's response was unexpectedly supportive. I really liked that. Typically, the father cares more about the business appearance side, and the mothers are trying to calm the husband down. Yeah. The dad totally did, like, a 180. I guess when they finally talked it out and they were like, you're adopted. They were just like, we're cool again.
Changed everything.
Hearing Hansung say that they could raise a kid without getting married is only in the movies fake. Even today, 13 years later, Koreans as a society are not okay with people raising a baby unmarried. The show made me miss answering machines. It was nice to hear people's voices back in the day. So that was 13 and 14.
Okay.
Yeah, so do you want me to kind of, like, cut in again, or, like, after each episode do the...
Maybe after each episode.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, let's get into our new episodes. I'm so excited.
The 15th cup.
Yes, the 15th cup.
Alright, so Unchan keeps asking Hangil if he's sure he's not going to leave for New York. She's happy, but she feels guilty that he might be denying his dream to stay with her. He tells her that it's not just for her, but he also likes the business now too. Unchan tells Hangil that she wants to accomplish things in life so she can be an impressive woman worthy of him, and also be able to be independent and provide for her family. Smart. We then cut to Mr. Hong, who is meeting with the grandma, and he tells her that she shouldn't be so hard on Unchan, and in fact, she should be thankful for Unchan because she is really the one who helped Hangul turn the cafe around. He also points out that even though she would be a great-granddaughter-in-law, she is not the one rushing to get married. That would be Hangul.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Very true. Mr. Hong is, like, always there for truth bombs.
Yeah, he's probably, like, the best character in terms of, like, his attitude and, like, trying to calm everyone down and being the voice of reason and stuff. He's just dirty as hell. So
yeah.
if he could just clean up and get some manners, like, he'd be perfect.
Uh-huh.
He'd make a perfect husband.
Totally.
Perfect partner.
Be a husband.
Perfect friend.
Uh-huh. So, Han-sung seems stoked to be a dad, and Yuju has a meal with her mom, who is now on her 4th marriage.
Oh.
Which we can maybe see why Yuju is like, fuck marriage. She initially tells Yuju to not get married since dealing with families sucks and you don't have your independence. But when Yuju flips the idea of her getting married, she does a 180 and tells Yuju that, oh yeah, you should definitely get married. And she's kind of like, I just thought no one would want to marry you, so I was just saying that to make you feel better. So Yuju seems conflicted on the subject. So back at the cafe, the coffee princes are a mess. Mingyup is still thinking about Unse's kiss. Sung-ki is hanging out at his old love's place, even though she doesn't really want him there.
Like, he just invites himself in.
I don't like
or
that
she gets home and he's already there cooking? What?
Yeah.
Who told
what
you
is
to
happening?
Do that? Who told you to do that? What's going on?
In fact, she told you not to do that.
That's... ugh.
I don't like that.
No.
Yeah, okay. What else? Oh, Hadim is a little player. So this is kind of where I think his new girlfriend storyline is blossoming.
Yes. Unchan goes over to Hangul's place to hang out and study, and they get into a fight about money after Unchan tells him she's paid part of her debt back to him with interest. The fight continues to escalate, and she leaves his place and doesn't answer his calls when she gets home. And she's not really mad, but she only replies to his text and then turns her phone off. And Hangul's like, what's going on? He's, like, losing his shit.
Yeah, she almost thinks it's kind of funny.
Like, yeah. Like, I don't know, playing this big joke on him. But he doesn't seem to think it's funny.
No, because it was a pretty serious fight.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very odd.
What do you think? Would you, like, want to pay your partner back? I feel like that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. I would discuss it with Andrew. And I would maybe try to pay some of it back. Not with interest. I don't want no interest. Sorry. We didn't talk about interest. Or I would talk about, like, maybe paying for something else. Yeah. For him for a couple of months, to kind of make up for it and balance it out. Andrew and I are always about balance, which I think you and Alex are too. Yeah, like, definitely. I buy one meal and then Andrew buys the next meal. Yeah. Or we go splitsies on, like, something from IKEA or something. I don't know. That's what we try to do.
Yeah. I would definitely feel like I would want to pay it back because, again, like, I also am kind of like Unchan in that I want to be independent. And I like to know that I could, if the situation arose, I could handle things on my own. Yeah. But I also like to keep my money. So yeah. I would definitely want to talk about it. Yeah. And be like, well, maybe I can, like you said, like, pay for part of the things, or, like, don't pay back in, like, a lump sum. But I also would be afraid of, like, I don't think Alex would ever do this to me, but, like, someone holding it over my head, like, yeah, well, remember that one time when I gave you $5,000? Like,
totally.
Yeah. And
I feel like Hangul would do that jokingly.
Yes.
But it would come off as, like, shitty, Yeah. But then also it's like, he has a lot of money. He's very wealthy. $5,000 I feel like is probably honestly nothing to him. Mm-hmm. And I think like the circumstances are different between him versus like Andrew or Alex or something, you know, like
100%.
Like not talking shit, you know, but like none of us are fucking rich here. We're not Hangul rich. So it's very different to just throw $5,000 towards someone and then as you're dating, expect nothing in return. I don't know. We then cut to Yuju and Hansung, who are talking about the meeting she had with her mom. And she tells him that her mom said it would be hard for her to find someone to put up with her shit. But it seems like she's already found someone. Yuju worries that even though Hansung likes her, his family doesn't. All right.
That's a fair worry.
Yeah. Hansung proposes to Yuju with the rice crackers. And he tells her to just think about it, and she agrees.
Yeah. That was kind of cute.
Yeah.
I like a proposal without a diamond ring.
Yeah.
Because it's just like so spur of the moment or whatever. Hangul goes over to Hansung's place. They talk about their issues with Unchan and Yuju, and Hansung tells Hangul about the baby. They're, like, very excited, but also, like, why don't these women just want to get married? So they're kind of, like, talking, they're kind of venting their frustrations, but not really listening to the other person. It's kind of funny. And yeah, and through that, Hangul realizes that he wants to marry Unchan. He's like, I just want to be with her all the time. Which is nice, but... I feel like we're going to have a big discussion on whether these two, like, needed to be married. Because I'm firmly on Team Unchan.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head no, they do not firmly need to be married.
The only thing, I know, I'm kind of skipping ahead, but the only thing that I would kind of see is if, like, they wanted to get married before the grandma, like, passed away. Because I'm like, okay, well, if you guys wanted to get married anyway, then, like, yeah, do it for your grandma's sake, I guess. But I'm like, what's the rush?
Yeah.
Which is her point, I guess.
And anyway. What she basically asks in that, too. Like, why does it matter right now?
Hangul gives a presentation about coffee prints to franchise, boring business stuff. Unchan continues to study hard to be a professional barista, and she starts to contemplate going to school for it. She talks to Mr. Hong about school and getting married, and she's worried about Hangul's family forcing him to go on blind dates. Because she's like, I don't know, like, about getting married, and I want to go to school, and he's like, just go to school. But then she's like, well, Hangul needs to get married, and I don't want his family, like, introducing him to other people. Which, again, is also, like, a fair worry.
Yeah.
But,
it's rough. A lot. There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot going on.
She gets a call from Hangul's mom, though, to meet with her. And they go and eat sushi, and the mom is really nice and asks Unchan about her relationship with Hangul, and she tells Unchan that Hangul is thinking of marrying her. Unchan tells her that she wants to accomplish something on her own and be able to measure up to Hangul before she gets married. Unchan tells Hangul's mom that she knows he cares about his family a lot and she won't do anything to cause them trouble. And her mom is, like, pretty happy with Unchan. Like, it's almost like she doesn't want to like her because she's not, like, your typical girl that you would expect for someone like Hangul. But she kind of can't help but feel a certain way towards her because she's just so nice and generous.
Definitely. Hansung and Yuju have a sweet moment where they dance in his backyard and she proposes to him. And Alex was like, you could do that.
Okay, like, Alex.
I was like, oh, maybe. Probably not, though. She tells him that she knows she's not perfect, but she'll try her best. Hansung seems thrilled and calls Hangul to brag. And he's, like, running down the street because he's, like, going to get food. And I said, I think I've watched too many dramas because I was so afraid Hansung was going to get hit by a car.
I was thinking the same thing, honestly. Like, there's plenty of scenes on this show where people are running down streets like that have a sharp curve. Or, like, Unchan riding her bike or something. And I'm just like, that road seems very dangerous. Like, cars not going to see you as they're turning that little corner.
Yeah.
It just seems scary. But no one gets hit.
No. Have you seen any of Downton Abbey?
I have not, no.
Okay, spoilers for Downton Abbey. I'm not going to say who or when or what, but there is a character who is, like, on top of the world happy. Everything seems to be going right. And then they get hit by a car. So, yep. I was like, no.
It happens. It happens.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Alright, Hangul tells Unchan about Hansung and Yuju's happy news, and that they're getting married, and Yuju is pregnant. So it's like, yay, oh my goodness, a baby? Wow, blah, blah, blah. And then they start to talk about how many kids they want and living together. Hangul jokes that they aren't compatible and shouldn't live together. Then he jokingly floats the idea of getting married instead. They start to fight a little bit, and Hangul asks how Unchan would like to be proposed to. Unchan gives him a very ridiculous answer, and he gets all upset, and then they're, like, cute again. They're just, like, all over the fucking place.
Yeah, they really like to joke around with each other, which is fun up until you start to get confused.
Yes, of what's actually happening, or what does this person really mean?
Yeah.
How do they really feel?
There was an episode of New Girl where one of the guys is dating this girl who, like, jokes around too much, and she, like, acts like everything is ironic or a joke, and it's like, oh yeah, it would be so funny if we moved in together, right? And he was like,
what?
Right? It's kind of stuff like that we use too sometimes.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
We have a weird daydreaming scene the next day where Hangul is imagining what it would be like to live with Unchan. And it was romantic, but there was just, like, a lot of cuddling and a lot of playing around in bed and jumping. And she's, like, in a little pink, like, pajama set.
Yeah.
It's
like, when has Unchan ever worn anything like that?
Exactly. It's like, what is this weird fantasy you're projecting, dude? Like, what? Like, I've never seen Unchan show her legs, and there she was in, like, little short shorts. Little short pajama set. Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
That ain't the Unchan I know.
I mean, I know in your daydream, you're not going to think about day-to-day life.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it kind of seems like he just wants to do it with her at this point.
Yeah.
You don't need to live together or be married to do that, so... You could just have a day of cuddling.
Absolutely. I mean, there are, like, cuddling jobs where all you do is cuddle. I don't know if you've seen those before. Yeah. It's like, I forget what it's called, but, like, you can hire a cuddler. And they, like
instead of, like, a sex worker. It's just, like, a cuddler.
They come to your house, and they just, like, lay with you. And they just, like, have their arm around you.
That's weird.
Yeah, very fucking weird. I don't think I could do that job.
No, I don't think I could either. When I was, like, really, I mean, I wasn't super poor in college. I feel like I was average college student poor.
Yeah, same.
But I was thinking, like, I feel like I could probably go, like, be an escort, but not do anything. Like, you can't touch me, but I could, like, show up to places if you needed, like, a fake girlfriend or something.
You just want, like, you wanted to be, like, a sugar baby.
Yeah.
And have, like, the rich older guy with no love in his life.
Yeah. Again, I don't really want you to talk to me, or definitely don't touch me.
I'm just, like, there to look pretty.
Yeah, if you needed to go to, like, a charity event and you needed a +1, I could be that +1 for you.
By the way, this is what I like to eat.
Yes.
There's a menu.
Here are my dietary restrictions.
Oh, God. We then cut to Hangyo's family, who is talking about Hangyo's relationship with Unchan. This is the hot topic. Mm-hmm. And the grandma is still all upset. And Hangyo's dad brings up how she, the grandma, forced him to leave Hangyo's birth mom and how much he regrets it. And I think he says something like that was the biggest regret of his life. Mm-hmm. And how he still thinks about that. And then Hangyo's mom tells the grandma that she met Unchan and how she likes her more than Yuju. And she seems like a sweet person who is really easy to get along with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like, Yuju is pretty, but she's a tough hang. Mm-hmm. So, which I can kind of see.
Yeah, definitely.
But I also feel like I'm kind of like Yuju when I first meet people.
Same, yeah.
Like, I don't know what to talk to you about, sorry. Mm-hmm. Like, the kind of good thing with Alex's dad's side of the family is they all speak Spanish. I mean, like, most of them speak English and Spanish. Mm-hmm. But whenever we go over there and there's, like, a big crowd, they all speak Spanish. So yeah. I can just sit there and smile.
Yeah, I would say, like, with my family, it's all kind of just, like, chaos. Like, everyone's talking, everyone's, like, joking, like, there's, like, groups of people, just, like, my family's fucking loud as hell. So you don't even have to talk, because everyone's gonna talk for you. Mm-hmm. So I typically just, like, sit there and listen. But then, like, with Andrew's side of the family, like, they're quieter. Mm-hmm. And they're, like, calm. And they're, like, I don't know, they're, like, listening to each other talk. Like, I don't know, it's just a very different atmosphere. So I feel very, like, out of my element in that group, just because, like, I'm used to, like, loud, boisterous families that are just, like, cussing and drinking fucking beer and just, like, loud as hell. Mm-hmm. Not drinking wine and, like, being, like, and calm martinis. And, like, yeah, martinis and just, like, being, like, calm and cool, which, like, there's nothing wrong with either, but I didn't grow up with that, you know, so it's very different for me.
Totally. I grew up kind of, like, in the middle of that. Because, yeah, I kind of feel like Andrew's family is very classy.
Yes, they are.
And, not that my mom isn't classy, but I feel like just, like, very firmly middle class, like...
Yeah, you know. I feel like your mom and my mom would get along pretty well. In terms of just, like... I don't know, talking shit. Yeah. I could see them totally just, like, talking shit. But I don't see my mom and Andrew's mom just sitting around talking shit.
Yeah.
I don't see that one.
I feel like my mom could kind of go in between both. Mm-hmm. My mom is halfway to both. But my mom makes friends with everybody, so I think...
Yeah, my mom too.
It's so weird that we're not like our moms, huh?
I know. My mom can talk to literally anyone about anything and just be like someone she just met, automatic conversation. I'm like, you know this person? Is this your first time meeting them, or have you always known them and felt this comfortable? Because I don't feel comfortable in this situation. So weird.
Yeah. So Hangyo goes over to Yuju's house. Why?
I don't know.
Again. They talk about marriage and stuff. She's making kimbap, which looks great. Mm-hmm. She invites him to go wedding dress shopping with her and Hansung. Which I think my mom has an okay mama about this, but it's like not wedding dress shopping and like I think weddings like that aren't okay, what am I trying to say? Like the mysticism, I guess, of weddings.
Like wedding
and,
dresses
wedding dresses
and stuff.
aren't a big deal. Like the groom usually goes with.
Gotcha.
So he initially declines, but he decides to go and bring Unchan when she says she's jealous of Yuju. Because I think, like, they're out on deliveries, and he tells Unchan about it, and she's like, oh, I want to go. So, he fantasizes about Unchan in a wedding dress, which he, again, like, you honestly think Unchan would pick out a wedding dress like that? It is, like, the puffiest, poofiest wedding dress ever. Like, if anything, I would see Unchan more like the dress that Yuju wears. That's like sleek and not super over the top.
Agreed.
Modern. But yeah, I was like, what the fuck is she wearing? She looked like Marie Antoinette or something. Like, with her headpiece and, like, the huge skirt. It was crazy. It
was a bit much, definitely.
It was a bit much, yeah. So Unchan is very happy for Yuju and Hansung. Hongil is, like, bursting at the seams, wanting to get married. So he blurts out a very awkward proposal. Hansung and Yuju tease Hongil. And Unchan eventually, like, is like, okay, let's take some time to think about this over. And she kind of teases him, like, I don't know if I want to marry you. Like, you're hard to be with sometimes. And they kind of tease each other some more. And Hansung and Yuju act half annoyed that they're the ones who are actually engaged. And they're like, their moment is being ruined. Because
of these two.
Yeah, which... I'm, like, not a big wedding person, but I hate it when, like, another couple steals the thunder of people getting married. Like, when people propose at weddings.
Yes.
I'm like...
Why?
This is not about you.
No.
This is about these people. Like...
Do that somewhere else on another day.
Like, if you really felt in that moment that you needed to propose to that person on that day, like... Do it in private. I don't know. That's just me.
Weird.
Definitely.
Weird ideas people have. Alright, so Hongil goes over to his family's house. He talks about business with his dad, and his dad is very supportive with work and with Unchan. Hansung and Yuju arrive, and they celebrate the engagement and the pregnancy, and everyone's all excited. And even though Hongil's grandma doesn't really like Yuju, she's happy that there will be a baby. So, like, she kind of turns and is now pretty excited.
I think she says, like, well, at least you guys did one thing right.
Yeah. Hongil tries to kiss up to his grandma and then half complains about her, but, like, he half complains about Unchan and, like, all the things that she does. But really, his complaints make her look good. Like, he's just saying all the great things she does and how hard it is on him. Because, whatever.
Like, she's so frugal, and she makes me,
like, she wants to pay me back all the money that I gave her, blah, 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 with interest. He then begs his grandma to reconsider after everyone, including Hansung, Yuju, the dad, like, everyone's on board with him marrying Unchan. And everyone's, like, giving him the thumbs up, and he's like, I got all these people, grandma, now it's just you.
Majority rule. Yep.
We then cut to Harim, who is teasing Unchan for trying to become a barista, and he tells her to just let Hongil take care of her. Then he asks a girl out who keeps making eyes at him at the cafe. And that's all we know about that scene so far.
Unchan tells Unsei about Hongil's proposal, and Unsei is super excited, but is super confused when Unchan tells her she wants to wait about 4 years to actually get married. And Unsei is like, what are you talking about? Because I think Unchan is like, well, 5 years. And Unsei is like, that's too long. And Unchan's like, okay, maybe 4 years. Like, okay. Unsei tells her that 4 years is too long to wait, and then asks Unchan if they've done it yet. Unchan is initially confused, and she's like, done what? And then Unsei is like, the thing that girlfriends and boyfriends do together. And then Unchan hits her sister. I'm like, Unchan, come on, your little sister.
You're 20-something, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, you know what she's talking about. Don't play dumb.
Okay, here's the thing. I agree that if you're going to be, like, actually engaged, I kind of feel like maybe you should get married sooner rather than later. But,
like, if someone proposes to you, maybe get married within that year.
Yeah.
Not 5 years later.
Like, a formal proposal with, like, an engagement ring. But, because that's kind of awkward.
And then you just constantly have people asking about the wedding.
Exactly.
Like, when is it gonna be? What's gonna happen? Are y'all ever gonna get married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, mind your business.
Yeah, seriously. We do cut to Hangyul going ring shopping, and Unchan practices walking in heels and wearing a dress. And he picks out a ring that is actually her, not like an imagination of what she would like. It's kind of like a more masculine sort of band.
It's like understated. Yeah.
So they go to Hansung and Yuju's wedding, which happens real quick, it seems. I don't know how much time has passed. They continue to talk about getting married, and Hangyul gets nervous and acts a little bit awkward and tries to put a ring on Unchan's finger, but he gets the wrong finger at first.
Yeah, he's like, it doesn't fit.
And I was like, bitch, you're putting on the wrong finger. And then she chose him the right one. It's like, oh God, what is happening here? And then he actually proposes to Unchan, and she actually says yes. And they're happy for about 30 seconds until she brings up, like, 4 years from now we'll be married. And Hangyul's like, what? I want to get married, like, this year. And then they get into a serious fight as Unchan wants to live a little more and better herself before she gets married and settles down, while Hangyul is ready and has already gotten his family's permission. And she gets all upset because he did not talk to her about that first. And now suddenly it's like a big deal where the whole family knows, and she hasn't even like technically agreed to that. She starts to open up that she shouldn't rely solely on Hangyul to take care of her and her family, because her family learned that lesson after her father died and they were unprepared. Unchan does her thing and she storms off. And then we have Yuju and Hansung super happy to get married. And Hangyul's grandma collapses in the bathroom, and we're like, oh, God. This isn't good.
Yep. End of episode. Yeah. I think Unchan has, like, an interesting point when she's saying, like, you just think, like, because you have money, I'll just do whatever you want. And, like, my family, like, me and my family's wishes don't matter. Like, the only thing that was in our way of us getting married was your family's approval. Like, nah, dude.
Yeah.
I have my own shit. Okay. So, Okay Mama, episode 15. Mr. Hong stood up for Unchan to the grandmother. That was nice. I concur. Seeing Yuju's mother helps one understand why Yuju is selfish. I am sure that her mother always put her own self first, so Yuju learned to manipulate people for attention and needed constant affirmation. Sunki putting up posters for his girlfriend's kid was cute, but I was disappointed. He isn't listening to her. He is doing the man thing of ignoring what she says, hoping she'll come around to see his way of thinking. It's super annoying, and I expected better from him, but I guess this behavior is realistic. Unchan stands her ground about the money she borrowed from Hangyul. I think if this were an American drama, she would try harder to keep him happy. Rather, Unchan is still fiercely independent. Dress shopping grooms always go with the bride to choose the dress. They don't typically have bridal parties, like bridesmaids and groomsmen, etc. And there's no superstition around the groom not seeing the bride before the wedding. Grandma spits out the grape peel when she is pissed at Hangyul. I don't even know why Koreans peel all of their fruit, even grapes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a little crazy that Hangyul would even consider marrying Unchan already. It's only been a little over 3 months of them even knowing each other. This is true.
It's weird and kind of, I don't know. I guess sometimes when you know, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's very fast.
Yeah. Unchan's wedding outfit is so ugly. She needs new clothes.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah, that was some fucking weird outfit.
Yeah.
I didn't love Yuji's wedding dress either. I liked the one that she wore, like she tried on.
Yeah, I really liked that one.
That was pretty, and it looked really good on her. The one she actually wore, I don't know,
it kind of looked more like a bridesmaid's dress.
Yeah, and it had like that weird band at the top. I don't know. I didn't love it, but it wasn't nearly as bad as Unchan's dress.
Either one of them, her, like, Marie Antoinette or her
both,
dress that
both
she
weren't
wore.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the end scene was so revealing. Unchan is so independent because she's afraid of depending on someone and losing them. That part made me cry. I am old and I still have that fear. People will say they're so amazed at someone who is so independent. It's mostly because there's no other choice. I wish Hangil would have been more reassuring to her and less insisting on his own way. Yeah, these two characters are very stubborn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're not good listeners. Okay, episode 16. So, Hansung and Yuju have a sad wedding. As Hangil's grandma is quietly rushed to the hospital.
Thanks a lot, Grandma.
I know, talk about people stealing thunder.
Oh my god.
Later that night, Unchan's mom tells her to just get married to Hangil, and she and Unse can take out the security deposit and get a smaller place. That way she doesn't have to worry about them anymore. I was kind of like, thank you, Mom. Like, it's not Unchan's job to make sure her younger sister is taken care of. Like, if she has the means to help, great, but, like, that's not her responsibility.
It shouldn't be all on her.
Right. Hangil and his mom sit in Grandma's hospital room and talk about marriage. Hangil wonders if he should wait to get married, but his mom knows that's not what he actually wants. Oh, sometimes you have to compromise, Hangil. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. Hansung and Yuju seem happy to be married, but she's even made him breakfast, which is nice. He's concerned when Yuju tells him that her newest project with UNICEF. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
I've never, like...
That's a big deal.
Never actually said that out loud. UNICEF, yeah. That is a big deal. But that it will be in Hong Kong, even though she's not supposed to fly because she's pregnant. And the doctor told her, don't fly. And then I immediately thought back to you last episode when you're like, I don't know about this pregnancy. How is this gonna happen? Unchan and Hangil have a serious talk at the cafe the next day, and Unchan admits she is being selfish, but maintains her stance that she wants to wait. He acknowledges that he didn't consider her circumstances enough, but also keeps pushing to get married soon. They keep going back and forth, but then Harim interrupts their argument, as Harim does. And then Harim and Mr. Hong talk about their argument, as everyone does, because everyone at the cafe talks about them.
I would talk about them too. They're so dramatic.
I know. There's always some new tea about them.
Hangil approaches Unchan again and asks her if she doesn't want to get married because she doesn't love him enough to get married. And I'm like, Hangil, chill. Unchan questions if he's pushing the issue because of his grandma's health. He insists that he just loves her so much that he wants to get married as soon as he can. Then he basically gives her an ultimatum and wonders if they should just break up if Unchan doesn't want to get married. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? If you love someone so much, you should just be happy to be with them.
Yeah, you don't need to make things fucking official like that.
Yeah, like, if anything, it would be like, I love you so much, like, even if you don't want to get married, I'm happy just to be with you, so let's do this thing. But I don't know. What do I know?
Either. Yeah.
I'm not married.
Unchan tells Unse about the fight with Hangil, and Unse is annoyed that Hangil thinks money will solve everything, so she secretly calls him. They make plans to meet up while Unchan has class the following evening. Then we see the princes continue to be a mess as Minyap realizes that he shouldn't have listened to Harim while trying to make Unse jealous. Sunki's old flame has ditched him, like she straight up left. He, like, just walks into the apartment, too, and there's nothing there.
And he's like, wow.
And then he sees a note or whatever. Like, fuck, this is crazy. Yeah. Harim continues to be a player. His storyline is kind of boring because all he does is talk about girls. Just like, I want more from you.
Yeah.
Give me more than just talking about pretty girls.
I wanted to, like, know more about, like, his dad kicking him out. Or him as, like, an interior designer.
Mm-hmm. Not just him wanting to bone 24/7.
Hangil visits his grandma, and they talk about Unchan. Grandma agrees to meet Unchan. But then Hangil tells her they got into a fight because Hangil wants to get married and she's not ready. He clearly explains Unchan's reasoning, which makes him more understanding. But his grandma tries to make it seem like she's just being manipulative, and he tries to get her to see Unchan's traits as being admirable instead of being so pessimistic. Hangil leaves, and Grandma seems to be reconsidering as she tells Hangil's mom that she'll have to work her magic to make sure Hangil and Unchan make it through this fight. And I'm like, oh, Grandma, what are you up to?
She changed her stance, like, pretty quickly there.
Yeah, which makes me think she was just kind of being dramatic and being a butt. Just because she can be.
Or maybe, like, so hurt with the fact that she was kind of smitten by this sweet young boy.
Yeah.
To only find out that he was a girl and is dating her grandson. Just, like, that whole shock.
Yeah.
Of, like, feeling totally duped by someone.
Yeah. I'm sure that doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Hangil buys Unchan food before her class, and he tells her not to worry about his grandma. Unse meets him at the cafe later, and she asks Hangil if he's going to break up with Unchan. She asks him if he can put off the wedding until Unse graduates high school and gets a job so she can support the family. Hangil's confused, and Unse realizes that Hangil wasn't serious about breaking up with Unchan, and then she calls Unchan a moron, and she's like, she doesn't even realize, like, what's happening in these conversations. Like, she's taking everything as serious, like for sure this literal. Is what's happening. Yeah. And he, Hangil, she assures Hangil that even though she thought he was a jerk, she has actually always liked him, and then she calls him brother-in-law. Then he gets very happy hearing the word brother-in-law, and he tells Unse that he'll help her keep Minyup in line. She says she can handle that herself. And she's like, I don't need to worry about him. Like, I got that dude.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not Unchan. I know how to handle myself.
Yeah, I know how to handle dudes.
So then we cut to the next scene of Unse handling Minyup by herself. Minyup apologizes to Unse, and they have a very dramatic conversation, but they end up back together, and Minyup is happy.
And hopefully she's not a butthole anymore.
Yeah. I thought their conversation was interesting because it kind of seemed like Unse was still kind of being a bitch. But I liked her point of that, you know that is me. Like, you know I'm a bitch, and you still wanted to be with me.
Yeah.
I didn't change anything about myself, but it was you who pretended to be all innocent, and you said you were in love with me, and then you went off and cheated on me. Like, you were a jerk. I'm like, yeah, very true, Unse. So, Mr. Hong visits Grandma in the hospital. They talk about Unchan's money situation and her dreams of becoming a barista. I thought it was funny how the grandma was like, so Unchan needs money, huh? And I'm like, duh, like, this is what everyone's been saying. She's fucking poor. Like, have you not been listening?
No, she hasn't.
So Mr. Hong tells Grandma that Unchan is talented and could be even better than him, as, like, better than a better barista than him with the right training.
Yeah, probably true. Because he doesn't apply himself.
Right, that's what he told Unchan, like, you have to keep pushing yourself.
Hansung and Yuju get into a fight when Yuju doesn't come home. He realizes she stayed up all night drinking with her exhibition crew, and he tells her that he was used to coming second after work, but their baby should be the first priority. And she tells him she wants both work and their baby to be her first priority. And it's like, okay, I understand that you're, like, working or whatever, but, like, that didn't even seem like work at that point. That was just, like, hanging out. Yeah. And, like, how much did you drink? What were you drinking? Lady. Yeah, like, crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, because she says, well, this is just like my crew, and they wanted to congratulate us on the wedding because they couldn't make it to the wedding. And I'm like, then why wasn't Hansung there if they're congratulating you on the wedding? Like,
yeah, it should be the couple together celebrating.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, not that I'm, like, doubting her, but I'm just like, yeah, you just wanted to, like, fucking hang out with people.
That wasn't, like, your new husband.
Right.
You wanted to forget you were pregnant for a night. Okay.
Uh-huh.
The grandma tells Unchan to come to her office, and Hangyo is also there, and they're both a little bit shocked to see, like, each other. And then the grandma has come up with a plan that will appeal to everyone. She says that Unchan will study in Italy for 2 years so she can become a master barista. That way, she will get to accomplish her dream and live a little before getting married. And Hangyo won't have to wait 5 years, and Grandma can keep an eye on them to make sure she approves of the marriage. Hangyo freaks out and is like, no, she can't go because of this, and this reason. And Unchan is just a little bit nervous, but she's also kind of into the idea. She's worried about her family, and Grandma tells Unchan that she'll get paid while studying in Italy so she can still send money back to her family while studying, just like she could have in New York. That way she can still help her family while they start to become more independent from her.
Yeah, I was like, this is a fantastic plan, Grandma. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, totally.
And, I mean, like, I think it would be harder for, like, us middle-class folks who, like, probably couldn't afford a plane ticket to Italy all the fucking time. But, like, Hangyo has enough money so that it seems like he could visit her often enough.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I'm like, excellent job. Excellent plan.
Good thinking, Grandma.
Unchan's mom visits the cafe while Unchan works late practicing her craft. She tells Unchan to be honest and asks if she wants to study abroad. Unchan says she's interested but is still worried about her and Unse. Unchan's mom tells her they can take care of themselves and that she should go if Hangil agrees to it. She tells Unchan that it's time for her to live her own life and not worry about the family, which I really appreciated. But I'm also like, couldn't you have done this like a few years ago while Unchan was still
No, because she's bringing in all that money.
I was like, 24 isn't old by any means, but I'm like, damn, what has changed? You know what I mean? Like,
this is why Unchan doesn't know about boning.
Exactly.
Because she was too busy working instead of hanging out with friends.
Exactly. So upsetting. Hangul and Hansung meet up again. Hangul complains about Unchan potentially studying abroad, but Hansung understands Unchan's point and tells Hangul that she is actually giving up a lot to be with him. And I'm like, that's an interesting point, because Hangul's like, I gave up going to New York for her, and he's like, no, you didn't. Like, you said yourself you wanted to stay because you liked the business. But he's kind of pointing out that Unchan is basically, like, in the prime of her life right now, and instead of, like, going out and meeting new people and doing the stuff, like, she's agreeing to settle down at a pretty young age. So, yeah. Hansung tells Hangul about his frustrations with Yuju's obsession with work. After getting married, he's found himself wanting her to quit working, and he wonders if this is why women don't want to get married. And it's like, yeah, dude. Fuck the patriarchy. Like, I don't know what has changed other than, like, well, obviously for them, she's a mother now.
Yeah.
So I get you not wanting your pregnant wife to be endangering your baby.
Yeah.
But also, like, she doesn't need to quit working. She just needs to, like, dial it back.
Yeah, she needs to quit, like, fucking around and just, like, partying and treating her body like it's the same as it was before. The next day at work, Unchan and Hangul talk about her studying abroad. he tells her that even though he doesn't want to be apart, he thinks she should study abroad. And he tells her he's realized that he can't always take care of her, but should instead stand beside her and be supportive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
exactly.
thank you.
That's what everyone wants.
You finally got there.
Yes. Yuju and Hansung make up as Yuju tries to make a batch of radish kimchi. And Hansung comes home from work at a reasonable hour. They laugh at as the kimchi isn't that good, but they're starting to compromise with each other. My God, why can't I read that sentence? I just kept like fucking up every other word. Holy shit. They compromise with each other, and it's good. Like, you can tell that they're actually at least trying.
Yeah.
Which hasn't always been the case.
No, yeah. Hangil goes to Unchan's house to formally meet her mom and ask for approval to date and marry Unchan. Unsei and their mom are very happy with Hangil, but then Unsei makes it all awkward, insinuating that Hangil and Unchan have already done it. And Hangil gives Unsei money. I was like, what is happening here?
It is weird. And it looked like a lot of money.
Super uncomfortable. Yeah. And then Unsei's just like flipping through the bills. Like,
awkward.
I did not like that. Unchan shows Hangil her room. They start kissing, and Hangil's hand starts to go under her shirt, but then she freaks out and pushes him off. I feel like Unchan's reaction was a little over the top, but I would also feel super comfortable, like, making out in my mom's house that does not have a door on my room. Yeah. Like, I don't want people walking in on me making out with my boyfriend, like...
Yeah. Especially for someone like her.
Your place.
Yeah, someone like her that hasn't, like, done anything.
Yeah. But Hangil gets super embarrassed and flustered and tells her that she's not allowed to touch him anymore. Yeah, that would be very embarrassing for all parties involved.
Absolutely. The next day, Hangil continues to tell Unchan that she's not allowed to touch him, so Unchan keeps messing with him. Harim has finally met a woman that messes with him as much as he messes with other girls, and he tells Unchan not to torture Hangil since all they do is kiss and Hangil is probably suffering. Unchan and Hangil take a day off to go on a date, but they can't decide on what to do, so they just go to the cafe, which is so lame. Unchan puts her name tag on a tree as she is just, like, looking around wistfully and thinking about everything in life, blah, blah, blah. Then later that night, Unchan and Hangil are texting back and forth. Unchan texts Hangil that she misses him, and he responds, "Let's meet in our dreams." Then she sneaks out of her fucking house, runs to his place, and...
I said Unsei's reaction and her snap claw.
Oh, that's right. I was trying to think, like, wait, what? What happened? Yeah, she had, like, the, like, bugle things or whatever. Is that what they're called? I haven't had those in forever.
What's happening?
Fucking claws. Hangil is very flustered when she shows up, and he tries to tell her to go home, but she pushes her way in. She tries to come up with excuses to stay and acts super spazzy as usual. But Hangil is at peak sexual frustration, so he carries her out of his house. But her shoes are still inside, and she wants to be with him, so she continues to pound on the door and taunt him by saying she'll cheat on him with a hot Italian dude. There's so many hot Italians, blah, blah, blah. Finally, he opens the door and tells her to wait outside, and he'll drive her home. But she shoves her foot in the door. Then he tells her to take her foot out. She comes in. He won't be sending her home, but... Oh, okay.
Oh, if she comes in.
Yeah. Then let me read that again, because I totally fucked it up.
Okay.
Then he tells her to take her foot out, and if she comes in, he won't be sending her home. She pushes her way inside again. They stare at each other, and then Hangil picks her up, they kiss, and she spends the night.
Yay! Good for them.
Finally. Maybe it won't be a fucking huge deal anymore.
Yeah. When he picked her up and, like, pushed her against the door, it was, like, a very loud...
Yeah.
push. I was like, be gentle. God.
He doesn't know how.
She's gonna have a concussion. So yeah. I was very happy for Unchan. Okay. Okay, Mama, episode 16. So Unshan's mom says she'll take the deposit out from the house to help pay for the wedding. She finally offered to do something for her daughter. She says, remember the Jeonse will say systems for housing. She's saying that they'll move to a smaller place and use the leftover deposit money to help pay for wedding expenses. In Korea, traditionally, the groom's family secures a home for the couple, helps with the massive deposit, or maybe even pays it all. The bride's family is typically responsible for purchasing appliances, furniture, and necessities. There's no such thing as a bridal registry or showers, and wedding goers typically gift 50,000 won in cash, which is like $50, rather than actual wedding gifts.
I'd take 50.
Yeah. It was so surprising to me that couples will literally start from scratch since most won't have lived apart from their families prior to marriage.
That makes sense.
Because, I mean, like, in both of our cases, we've lived with our partners for so long that we're basically already set up.
Yeah.
So I liked how, I guess there's, like, a newer trend of, like, if you want to give me money, like, let's put it towards the honeymoon.
Yeah, totally.
Or something like that, because...
Yeah, there are, like, websites where you can, like, have your registry or whatever, but then it's also, like, or just put in cash here.
Yeah, because, like, I don't need
a fridge or a sofa.
Yeah, I don't want you to buy me a toaster. Like, I'm good. I already have one of those.
Yeah.
Just give me the cash, please. I was so sad to see that Sunki's love ran away without even saying goodbye. Yeah, rough. I really hate the games that Unse and her mom play with the men who like them. Oh, I totally skipped over this part, I guess. They push them away, pretend they don't like them, and only come around when the men are ready to give up. It's emotionally abusive and dishonest.
Agreed.
Yeah. Han Sung seems surprised that Yuju didn't change after getting married and getting pregnant. That's what they say. People don't change. Like, you shouldn't marry someone expecting them to change after getting married. Or having a baby. I like the quiet bond that Sunki and Unshan have. They tell each other their worries, but neither tries to solve the other's problems. I also really like Unshan and Sunki together. Like, they're sweet. Grandma finally found what Unshan couldn't refuse, a full scholarship to barista school in Italy. Unshan's mom really stepped up, telling her daughter what she wants is for her to finally do what she wants. Unse was actually a caring sister trying to smooth things over between Unshan and Hangil. The family meeting was sweet too. My mom says, I really like the conversation between Hansung and Hangil, recognizing their hypocritical and controlling behaviors. They're good support for each other. And my mom says, is this just in movies or do guys really self-reflect like this? I think it's mostly just in movies. I can't see Alex and Andrew having a conversation like Hansung and Hangil.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Alex and David would? I don't know, but like I feel like Alex and Andrew would just never talk about...
Because they just like goof off.
Yeah. I have been curious to wonder, like, how do guys talk about girls? Because I guess, like, my cynical point of view is, like, oh, I feel like they probably just only talk about boning. But I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know. I haven't pretended to be a boy and snuck my way in
Me
to go undercover. Unshan's decision to lose her virginity before leaving for Italy, in true form, she was an awkward spaz. Yeah, she could have just said, like, I'm ready. I mean, maybe not in that tone, but... Like,
I'm ready! Thumbs up!
Let's do it. Just send a picture of an eggplant.
Oh my god.
Okay. The first time I saw this drama, I was pissed at this point because I wanted them to fall in love and live happily ever after. However, I have come to appreciate Unchan's self-awareness. She knows what she needs to be her best self and doesn't settle for less. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Okay. You want to start episode 17?
You can start it, since I finished the last one.
Okay. The next morning, Unchan and Hangil are bashful but still lovey. I LOL'd when Hangil stuck both legs in one pant leg.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like a mermaid.
Yeah.
Unchan freaks out knowing her mom will be upset, but she still has breakfast with Hangil. They talk about her staying in Italy, and he becomes overprotective and is like, you can't wear short skirts. And I'm like, dude.
Okay.
Whatever. They decide to go on dates every day before she leaves.
But only to the cafe.
Only to the cafe, yeah.
Unchan gets a call from Unse as Hangil is driving her home. Unse tells her to go straight to work as she made up an excuse to cover for Unchan. Harim senses something fishy immediately, and he freaks out when he notices Unchan is wearing the same thing from the day before. Harim starts sneaking around like a little freak, a little weirdo.
Mm-hmm. Like, the way he snuck around reminded me of the Grinch. Like, how he, like, tiptoes.
Yeah, totally. He catches Unchan and Hangyu in the bathroom together, which was weird. Then he starts singing congratulations to the couple. It's awkward. Like, this is at work, y'all. This is not the time to... I don't know.
No, and I was wondering, like, were they doing it, or... what was happening
in the bathroom?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It looked like she was patting him off. Like,
yeah, but then, like, his pants were unzipped.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening in that bathroom. It was weird.
Because she was, like, fully clothed. Like, not... I don't know. Whatever. We don't have to break it down. It's fine. Hangil hides a present for Unchan to find while she's mopping. And it's a nice pair of comfortable shoes, since baristas are on their feet all day. Unchan is a clueless goof and doesn't realize they're a gift at first. Because she's like, oh, I guess someone left them behind.
So stupid.
And he's like, well, try them on. She's like, I don't want to put on someone else's shoes. And he's like, oh my god. Unchan brings up the superstition of, like, your love leaving you if you buy them shoes. But Hangil has written your mine on the soles to make sure Unchan doesn't run away. I had never heard of that. Well, I had only heard of that because one of my coworkers told me about that.
I've never heard of that.
That's weird. I guess it's an international thing, because, one of my coworkers was teasing one of my other coworkers for buying their partner shoes, and they're like, oh, he's gonna leave. Ha
ha ha. Okay. I've bought like 7 pairs of shoes for Andrew. He doesn't leave.
No, Alex, like, basically for Christmas every year I buy Alex a pair of, like, the pair of basketball shoes that he wants.
Yeah, Andrew loves shoes, so I always get him
Alex.
Some type
Those
of pair.
Boys, they love their shoes. And socks.
Later that night, Unchan and Hangul talk on the phone. They have cute couple talk about why they like each other. Eventually, Unchan falls asleep, so Hangul leaves her on speakerphone. He wakes up the next morning and begins laughing because he realizes she's still on the line and she's still snoring. He hangs up, calls her back, and he sings to her on the phone. And his singing to her on the phone is way less awkward than Hansung singing to you. It was weird. Like, you're not the music person. Why is yours so much better?
It's because his wasn't too intense.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny how he was, like, walking around his patio, and then he walked on the rocks and, like, hurt his foot, but was trying to keep singing.
Yeah. Hansung's was, like, a weird mini production over the phone.
Yeah.
We then see Unchan say goodbye to all the princes on her last day of work. Minyuk gives her a cosmetic set as a present, and he tells her that she'll be really pretty if she wears makeup, but not as pretty as Unse. He tells her that he likes her and respects her a lot, and to not worry about Unse and their mom because he'll take care of them. Very sweet.
That was nice, yeah. Then Sunki comes in. As usual, he's short and to the point, but still, like, sweet and tender. Mm-hmm. He gives her a handshake and tells her to take care and that he believes in her. But, like, the good thing about Sunki is he is to the point, but you know he means, like, every word he says.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really sweet that he tells her that he believes in her.
Yeah, totally.
Harim goes in very nervously. Unchan tells him that even though they've had their differences, she really likes him. Because he, like, doesn't even acknowledge her at first when he walks in. Then he gives her a hug and starts to cry. And just, like, shoves a letter in her hands and walks out. And, like, the guys are like, already? And he's, like, all pissed off, like, crying. Like, leave me alone. It's funny. The letter is really sweet. He tells her not to be won over by other men in Italy, and he'll keep an eye on Hangul for her. Then he tells her he would go for her if he weren't Hangul's girl, which I'm like, yeah, I feel like he had the hots for Unchan before Hangul did.
Yeah, like immediately.
Uh-huh. He says he'll miss her, and that P.S. dreams do come true. Unchan starts to cry and says she doesn't want to go.
I can feel that. The anxiety of, like, a big trip or event coming, and you're just, like, fucking terrified. You're excited, like, but stay. So scared.
I'll just stay. I don't want to do this anymore.
All right, so, big turn here. Mm-hmm. Just as Yuju and Hansung seem to be adjusting to married and parental life, Yuju has complications of the pregnancy, and she's rushed to the hospital. Hansung stays by her side, and that's all we see for now.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see Unchan talking to Hangul as she frantically packs. I don't know why they were packing, like, the fucking night before.
I don't know either. Some people are like that.
It's crazy.
Always plan ahead. I pack way in advance.
Yeah, they're just, like, throwing shit into her bag, and then he's on the phone being like, don't forget this, or don't pack too much of that, don't do this, get all of this, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy. Everyone is sad. The mom and sister, like, go to the kitchen and they quietly cry and tell her everything's fine. Unchan and Hangul decide to say their final goodbyes over the phone since they worry she won't leave if they say them in person.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's tough.
I feel like I would want, like, one last hug or something.
Yeah, totally.
Like, maybe what I guess you could do is, like, say goodbye at home and put them in a taxi.
Yeah.
And then, like, have a phone call once you get to the airport. But
yeah,
it seemed like they didn't even see each other that morning or something. Like,
no, they didn't. It's weird.
Yeah. So now we flash forward to 2 years later.
Woo!
We get a voiceover of Unchan reading the letters she's written to Hangul, and we see how everyone is doing. Hangul is working on opening Coffee Princess, and Minyup is now a back model.
so weird.
Yeah, and Unse is, like, either part of the crew or his agent or something.
It seems like she's, like, his agent, management, whatever.
Yeah, she seems to be good at what she does. And I'm like, that is a good role for Unse because she's, like, very loyal. Demanding and pushy.
Perfect role for her.
Unchan calls Hangul and tells him that she's been given an opportunity to study in Italy for another year. Hangul initially freaks out and tells her she can't, but then he starts to feel guilty.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's right as she's supposed to come back.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how long did you know about that? Like, did you wait until the last minute to tell him? Because I feel like she would have need to have known a bit ahead of time, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Harim is doing interior design for the new cafe, and he has been dating the girl player named Buell. And they're on again, off again, but happy, even though Harim's family is going through some difficult times. We don't really know much about them, though. Then a girl comes in who is supposed to remind us of Unchan, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I didn't get Unchan from her.
Yeah, well, they're like, oh, she looks just like Unchan. And I'm like, she don't look like Unchan.
So weird. She asks if she can work at the cafe and learn how to make coffee for Mr. Hong. She says she knows everyone since she's a regular at the cafe. Harim then points out how much she looks like Unchan and how she's his type, but Minyip carries him away, as Minyip does.
Yeah. I was, like, very nervous with the introduction of this girl, because, like, Hangul's, like, makes a weird face looking over at her, and I was like, okay, I guess maybe she's supposed to, like, make him miss Unchan and stuff, like, but I'm like, you better not cheat on Unchan on
and there was, like,
17.
Yeah, there was, like, nothing about her that was Unchan-like. Like, Unchan is
her, like, peppy personality, I guess.
Yeah, but Unchan is also, like, a fucking spaz. And this girl seemed, like, peppy but chill. Like,
yeah.
She had her body under control. She's, like, flailing her arms around and everything.
Yeah, she's just like, I want to learn how to make coffee.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, that's the only other thing she has in common with Unchan.
So, Hansung and Yuju are doing well as they celebrate their 2-year wedding anniversary. Yuju still seems down, though, and Hansung finds her up late at night staring at a pair of baby shoes. He tells her he thinks they should stop going to the hospital, I'm thinking for fertility treatments, and be happy that they're together and enjoy the work they love. So it looks like Yuju did miscarry and is now having a hard time being pregnant.
Yes.
So that's sad.
Tough.
Yeah, Yuju suggests that they go on a trip together, and she's just her regular, spontaneous Yuju self. Mr. Hong runs into his long-lost love at the grocery store.
This was random for episode 17.
Yeah, I was like...
Right now you're gonna do this? The woman was very pretty.
She was.
And I'm like, did she leave Mr. Hong because he was so gross? Or did he get gross after she left him?
Yeah.
And he just, like, stopped caring, you know?
That's kind of what it seems like, but I don't know. I'm like, again, I thought, why are you doing this to him? And Sungki's just sitting there, like...
bored as hell. Just like, can we go?
The ice cream's gonna melt. It's weird that those two are together now.
Yeah. Alright, so we cut to Hangul, and he is lonely and tries to decide how to respond to Unchan's situation. He leaves her a voicemail and tells her she can study there for one more year, but that she owes him. Sunki acts coldly towards the new girl, but eventually is won over because she speaks to him in Japanese. And he's like, oh, wow, cool. And then I think Minyip comes in and he's like, what are y'all talking about?
It's like, are you talking about me?
No, dude.
I think it's funny when, like, anyone who is, like, around other people who are talking in a different language always gets so self-conscious that people are talking about them. Yeah.
There was one moment in particular I remember of my cousin and I on trampoline with one of her friends. And my cousin and I were speaking, like, Simlish gibberish to each other. Like, we don't know what the fuck we're saying. We're just, like, going back and forth with dumb Simlish. And this girl straight up thought we were talking so much shit about her. And she got all upset thinking we were talking about her. And we just kept, like, laughing and continuing to do it because we're assholes. But, yeah, it was just Simlish. It meant nothing.
Yeah. I usually don't assume people are talking about me. Because I'm like, they have better things to talk about than me. And, like, I don't really do anything worth talking about, I think, but yeah, I don't know. I just think it's, like, a universal fear of people talking about you when you don't understand what they're saying.
Well, Hangul is now interviewing baristas for the new cafes. Unchan shows up to the interview and surprises him. She sits down and they pretend to conduct an interview. He asks her the questions he did in episode 2 when he hired her to be his boyfriend. She starts listing her qualifications and why she'd be a good barista/wife, as Hangul is still in a state of shock that she's there in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets grumpy that she fooled him, but she wins him back over when she tells him that she won't leave his side and will be with him for every moment of every day. Then Unchan's grandma calls, and they're much more friendly now. Oh, then Unchan calls grandma, not her grandma calls.
Yeah.
We don't know her grandma. But I guess this woman is now kind of her grandma.
Uh-huh.
They're much more friendly now, and we see that Hangul's family has been in touch with Unchan. He takes her to the cafe. Everyone's like, oh my god, Unchan's back. Oh my god. And she looks like different. Her hair is a little bit longer. She's wearing jeans that actually fit her body.
Yes.
And then we get just like a short scene of all the princes and Hansung and Yuju to the end of the episode. And it's just sweet and cute and everyone's happy and excited. The end.
The end, yes. I loved Harim's reaction, and so did Alex. He was like, I feel like that's how I would be, because he's like, this is weird, like,
yeah,
you look like a woman who's like wearing, like fitted clothes, and she's wearing a little bit of makeup and stuff. I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see Unchan's wedding with Hangul, because I do like to see weddings. And I wanted to know, like, what type of wedding dress she would wear. And I think it would be funny to see, like, all the princes, like, show up to the wedding. And like, I wish we would have gotten that instead of fucking Mr. Hong's love running into the grocery store and New Unchan. Like, New Unchan was totally pointless.
Yeah, nothing happens with either of those.
Yeah,
it's just like the introduction of two characters that we're never going to see again.
Yeah, like, the only thing about New Unchan is that, like, oh, well, now Sunki has, like,
a person.
Someone, I guess, but they could have done that. Here we go, like, rewriting the end of the show. I feel like they could have done that at Unchan's wedding. Like, Sunki brings someone, and they're like, who's that girl? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
who's that girl?
And then it would have been funny to see, like, Minyup and Beale together, and I don't know, I just would have liked to see that, but...
Yeah, or if there were less scenes of, like, the mom and her, like, weird back and forth situation, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's fine. Okay, Mama. I feel like this didn't need to be an episode. They could have just made episode 16 30 minutes longer. But each character's story was wrapped up nicely. The miscarriage was a sad event. My mom had 3 after having me.
Wow.
Yeah, and they can be emotionally painful. I was worried that Yuju would use it as an excuse to run away, but I'm happy that she and Hansung found a way to be happy with each other. My mom also wanted to see a wedding between Unchan and Hangul, though. My mom says, I hope that you guys enjoyed this drama as much as I did. Thanks again. I had fun sharing my thoughts with you. So.
Okay, Mama. Thank you.
Okay, Mama. Yeah, I don't know, I feel very satisfied. I'm like,
yeah, this drama I feel like is kind of in the same boat as Strong Girl. Where it's just like fun. And there are like crazy moments that happen, but overall it's like a fun, feel good drama. Yeah.
I feel like in both too, the ending was like, it could have been a little better, but I'm happy with it. Like, everyone's happy, and at least
the grandma's still alive.
Grandma's still alive. I know. It was like, I guess she's really beating cancer. She's doing it.
Kicking its ass, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel happy.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, my only disappointment is we didn't get to see the wedding, but especially because they talked about it so much.
And it was like a fucking obsession of Hangul's.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, okay. And I did like Unchan's glow up.
Yes.
She really found herself in Italy.
Her hair looks so much better.
It does. It looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
And she finally got that natural makeup look down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I feel like Italy was so good for her. Because she seems so confident, like,
yeah,
coming in and, like, having her fake interview with Hongyo.
Mm-hmm. She wasn't awkward and, like, crazy and spazzy or anything.
Yeah, like, it was probably nice to, like, be around people who had the same interests as her and probably around the same age group as her and not having to, like, fucking sew doll eyes and worry about her dumb sister and, like, pretend to be a boy. Just be herself and, like, do what she wants.
Totally.
For a change was probably super good for her, so. Yeah. Yay,
I enjoyed it. Yay, everyone.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So, next episode will be our awards and recap episode. Yes.
Don't forget to vote.
Please vote. We should have some special guests. We're still, like, in the works of figuring that out. So, if everything does work out, fingers crossed, we will have some very special guests, and I'm very excited about that. And then we will be watching Goblin, which I am very excited to talk to you about, because I have some problems with it, but there are some parts that I love. So, it is very, I don't know. I feel very excited.
I'm excited to see Goblin because I want to see Moonju, the dentist from Strangers from Hell.
He's so good.
I don't know what his, like, actual name is, but he's, like, pretty to look at, even if he was a murderer on Strangers from Hell. He was pretty to look at. So I'm excited to watch him in Goblin and see his character.
Yeah, I hope I'm not overhyping him, but he's great.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So, if you guys want to vote in our polls, please do. I know I already said this at the beginning, but follow us on Twitter, and maybe I'll put, like, a link in the... I don't know if you can link a specific tweet. I don't know, but just find us on Twitter.
Find us on Twitter, yeah.
Vote in the polls. I guess that's it.
Yeah. Find us on the things. Join us on Patreon. We only have a couple of patrons right now, but they're all pretty fucking cool. Be cool, we love like them.
We love every single one of them. Buy some fun stickers. And
that's some cool shit. Yeah.
We will talk to you guys next week. Wear your best. Find your best dress for the OK Drama Awards.
All right. See you later.
Bye.
Goodbye.